Hello, YouTube Nation, and welcome back for yet another toy review. Today, we are going to do a little bit something different. So I have all these retros that I've purchased at Ollie's, Ross, Ben's Bargain Barn, and then I have these retros that are down here that I've had that are at least, I don't know, they're $5 or so at any comic book, any retro toy store, or anything like that. So I'm going to open up a whole lot of Star Wars toys, and we're going to compare the retro versus the retro. Let's start off here. When these things came out, man, everybody ran. Look at this, a $10 price tag. Not a chance. A couple dollars maybe. And you saw this card back, and there's an Imperial AT-ST. There's a Millennium Falcon. The X-Wings coming. Speeder Bike, TIE Fighter. Look at all the figures, everything that's coming with this. It ignited me. I was a high school kid when these came out. I mean, I got these out and I played with them again. It was like something new had happened. That was before the announcement of the new movie, which is fantastic. So we're going to crack all these open. Some of these have been opened on the channel. I've had doubles, but some of these are new to the channel. So, oh, look at that. An easy out for Luke Skywalker. He comes out. He has a lightsaber. And he has a blaster. Isn't that amazing that it's that easy to get this out? Phew, thank goodness. All right, so as we open up the Luke, these are typically by fans called the muscle bound figures. That's very not accurate of what Luke looked like. He definitely wasn't that ripped, but he does get a lightsaber. He does, well, maybe. All right, oh, bent it. Always did it this way. I know this is probably butthole backwards, but it goes on easy without hurting the hand. So there you go. So we have a Luke, and this is the retro-ish of the 90s. So for him, it's got the regular articulation and everything else. He's got those baby blue eyes, got that sandy blonde brown hair. And this is him in Dagobah outfit. This is not the one that came with Yoda, but that was a good figure. Now, one of the things that were terrible about these figures is that their stance is their stance. So you can't straighten him up. If you straighten him up, he falls forward. So he has this kind of lean back, almost like a running or a duel. Let's get these out of here. It's heaven. So even at that, he's so heavy in the back, he cannot stand. So these guys were really hard to get to stand. And you either had to get a peg stand for him, or one of the things I just did was put the lightsaber somewhere to where it would catch him and he would stay. But this Luke is not a good figure. It was absolutely fun to have for back in the day. Not that good of a figure. So let's take a look at one of the... Let's do Grand Inquisitor. All right, so $3.99. Got that retro play look. Got everything that seemingly looks as the 70s and 80s toys. So Grand Inquisitor comes out. And for anybody who was a kid, this is what your toys looked like. They had no articulation except on the shoulders, like a rotate and a rotate. They could sit and they could move their hand up, which is fantastic. Grand Inquisitor gets his lightsaber, possibly coming in here. Let's see if it'll go in. Man, it's hard. I'm not going to fight it. But you do get the cloak, which is cool, and an upgraded play. So if you went these two versus two, this one wins. The playability for this one's great because, dude, at least he stands. That's a fantastic thing. Luke doesn't. So everybody, when these new ones came out, oh, they're so much more detailed. They're so much more blah, blah, blah. Granted, this is a new figure, but this is a retro style figure. This is exactly how it would have come out. I like the retro so far for that. So those two look pretty good. So we're just going to roll through these and just open up a bunch of Star Wars characters. How about that? So let's take a look at retro Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then let's take a look at Power of the Force Jedi Files, Jedi training gear for Obi-Wan. Let's take a look at this. I've never opened this figure before, so let's take a little peek-see at this. I honestly don't even remember this scene, honestly. I don't think it's from a movie. I'll have to look at the card back to see what it's from. So, Jedi under training, Qui-Gon Jinn has already discovered. Jedi don't especially made training gear that protects them in close combat without hindering their maneuver. So he's in special gear so he doesn't get hurt. All right, so let's take a peek here. So we knock it out. He's got a nice little helmet. Got the blue lightsaber as such. That's nice. And again, see how he's standing? That's what makes these not so good. Now, I love the head mold. I love that the face, the shield will go over it. And I love that he gets a very, very, very stiff arm. Lightsaber does move at the wrist, which is nice. But I mean, I guess he could be holding it as such. But again, does he stand? It's going to be too front heavy. So he goes down. So really good figure. I mean, I don't know if he's kind of doing the Force with this or what the deal is, but it looks good. It's a very detailed figure. If they could put this detail into these retro figures, but that would take away from the retro. All right, let's take a look at Obi-Wan Kenobi Wandering Jedi. This is retro style here. So again, he's going to come with some soft goods, it looks like. Let's get him out of that. He also has a blaster that just shot right at the camera. And he's got a blue lightsaber. So his blue lightsaber, nicely done. They kept the color the same. So his blue lightsaber would go into his hand. He has a wandering outfit. Really cool looking under. It's a really cool Jedi robe. I mean, it looks really nice. It's a good Jedi robe. He could cover his whole face if he wants to, which is, you know, it is what it is. But this and this, two different figures, two different characters, of course, in the sense of early to old. But one's playability, you got to use it. It's a Pepsi Coke product thing for me. You're either a Coke or you're a Pepsi person, and this is the Coke and this is the Pepsi. So I need you to leave me a comment down below. Which one are you? Are you Coke or are you Pepsi? Let's open one figure from this, and then we'll just kind of compare them and run through them. So let's go through the Assassin Droid here. Assassin Droid is from the Ahsoka TV show. If you haven't seen that on Disney Plus, it's a good show. For me personally, they're taking Star Wars to a realm of the Marvel. There's just too much. There's unneeded, but we'll get to that later. Just a normal articulation. The face does look good on it. It's a good looking robot in the retro style. Looks nice. Very skinny legs. Can stand on his own, just like all the retros do. And then pew 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 shoots away. I dig it. Good figure there. Let's take a look at this one. Was always fun. Anakin with the flashback photo. Kind of neat. This was one of the first times this Anakin comes in. I'm not sure if the Force Glow comes with the 3-pack. I'm kind of out to date on my Star Wars stuff. I don't really collect newer Star Wars stuff like Black Series or any of that. So he comes in the robes. They don't move as much as that does. Like if you take a look at the different type of robes, way more detailed. And this thing right here is it's a 25-year-old figure. This thing is. Obviously this is based off of older, but the detail that they had 25 years ago, we were spoiled with and didn't really understand it. I mean, it does look good. He is one that does stand on his own, which is nice. He can hang out there. The face sculpt looks quite familiar. Looks just like the actor who portrayed him in the movie. And he's Jedi Anakin. He's not Darth Vader anymore. He's just Anakin Skywalker with a blue lightsaber. Whole lot of blue lightsabers today. Let's take a look at Ned B here. Ned B from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Ripping him open. And put that over there. Oh, Lord, the directions. All right, so he comes out. His little hammer pops out, which is, oh yeah, I forgot. Obi-Wan's blaster fell out down here. Here's Obi-Wan's blaster. It's teeny. All right, so he gets his hammer. It goes in here. Very long figure. Look how long those arms are. Man, that's you could tell the girth of the figure and from the character. Looks very good. The detail, again, it's very nice. They could have easily not painted some of this stuff, but the blue is very prominent for the character. Looks good. Legs move just like normal. Does his head move? Yeah, his head moves. Some droids' heads don't move, so he's got his hammer. He's ready to tank, ready to build a house or something. But yeah, that's Ned's a cool figure. Let's have him stand. See if he stands back there the whole time. Let's start standing the retros. And as you size comparison, let's do that because he is supposed to be a little bit bigger. As you could tell, he's half inch, maybe bigger than Obi-Wan there. That's good on him. Let's look at another vintage. This one's 25 years old. We're going to take a look at Shmi. Shmi was a space pirate. Also, really, we don't care about anything other than that is Anakin's mommy. So as we pop her open, Shmi got a bad rap. I didn't like her when I was a kid. I don't know why. I felt like she could have done better as a mom. As an adult, I understand her pains with kids of my own. But Shmi comes in. She's got a little wrist cuff there. And then they had kind of hard, soft, plasticky goods. They would move, but what would be the point? Are you going to have her like jumping out of a building or anything? So she does have that. She can hold her little communicator device here. I always just kind of had it dangling as such. I've had her before on the channel, I think. Maybe not. I don't remember. Again, it was a good figure. They started pumping these things out once the prequels came out, but that was neither here nor there. It was nice to have a Shmi figure. So Star Wars is one of those weird franchise bases where we gotta have every one of those characters, and there's some third-party people who are doing really good stuff with getting those very rare characters from back in the day that are coming out, which is nice. What is he actually from? Obi-Wan. So the fifth brother coming from Obi-Wan has another one of the swords that looks like this. The Obi-Wan movie was pretty good. Getting this in this retro hand is daggone really hard, and I just don't do it. It's going to sit over there. So if you compare them, they have a thing that, to tell them apart, has this kind of samurai hat, if you will, shogun hat for the use of it to kind of separate who is who. But it's a good looking figure. It's a good looking. I always thought that. I always thought this. Doesn't he kind of look like an evil robot there? That'd be cool if he could just have his little head up. It's like Voldemort with a head in the back. We're going to do this as a twofer for this one. So we got two Han Solos. So we got Bespin and we got Endor gear. Let's open Endor gear first. These Han Solos, this is part of the I'm buff and I'm ready to not go to the gym so much line. And Han comes with his normal blaster, which is fairly good, and he could give it the good old point as he always does. This Han, if you could tell, his foot, again, they made him to where he's got to lean back a little bit to be able to stand as such. And that's great that one actually does get to stand. But if you ever displayed these as a kid, because at that point when these were coming out, my playing days were almost over, but my collecting days were starting. And so displaying these guys was a chore, because they're not that I knew of anyway, there wasn't any circle pegs that you could put the hole in and have them stand. So, I mean, a good swift wind would come in. And I mean, if you take a look at this Han, looks great. It looks like Han, but look at his legs. Look at his feet and everything of how they would stand. It looks like somebody broke his legs. And when he's standing, he looks all cattywampus. I mean, it'll do it, but one little bounce to the table. Well, he stood. He's reliving time. Han, just like his normal self, proving everybody wrong. Blaster will go in the hand. I never had this ever on him. I don't ever remember Han loading up with the rifle, but you know, you can have him going in as such there. Use the same head molds. It's good figures. They're good fun. I love them. They are fantastic. But the standability for those is why I love the retros. Now, we're going to let them stand right there since they are in a standing way. Let's get a couple more of these standing up here in the background just to see. He needs to go there. Obi-Wan, you're cheating. You don't get to go up there. I'm not even going to try for the Luke and them. So let's try Reva, the third sister, coming in from Obi-Wan. Another good representation of a figure from the newer line that gets a retro toy. And then they pop them up. The head, the sculpts, they aren't supposed to be so detailed that they look exactly like them. But man, that does look like the actress. I don't know her name, but it does look like her. They have the lines, the braids in the hair. Doesn't have the brown underneath to show the actual skin or the scalp, but it's a retro figure. That's okay. And she comes with this style of saberish thing. And she can hang. She gets to hang out right there. That's good times. And then the last one, which is my favorite of the new characters since prequels were invented, Cad Bane. I think he's the Boba Fett of the modern day. Awesome in the animated series of Clone Wars. Fantastically voiced, fantastically played, portrayed. I thought the way he was portrayed in the Boba Fett movie or series is fantastic. So he comes out. He's our Lone Ranger. He's got his 6-shooter there. Looks great. The head sculpt is amazing. He doesn't have soft goods, so you're going to have to kind of imagine that the trench coat's there. Would have been nice to see him have the trench coat soft good, but that Cad Bane is fantastically done. Hat does not remove, has his hoses, has his back and has his breathing apparatus in the back or whatever that is. But for me, the retro toys are something to be upheld and to just really get into the groove of it. I dig them. We took a whole lot of time to dive into just a hodgepodge of them. Welcome to the Hodgepodge channel. Hope you all liked it. Leave me a comment down below. Are you a retro, or are you the 90s, or are you just vintage Star Wars? It is not going to add the Black Series in there because I think a lot of people will pick the Black Series because I do think they are good looking figures. They're just not my scale for Star Wars. This is my scale. So until next time, peace out, home skillets.